Yeah, I just wondered. Something's been on my mind for months now, and I thought maybe I'd just put something on here and maybe somebody from Knoxville, Tennessee might be able to help me out. My wife and my mother-in-law, we went to the Smoky Mountains last fall, and on the way back, I was driving the van, and we got out on the interstate. I guess it's I-40. I'm not sure which one it is that goes through Knoxville when you want to go from Knoxville to Huntsville. But anyway, we got on the interstate and hadn't been on the interstate but a minute or two, and you know, was cruising along there, and there was a truck in the 18-wheeler in the right lane and a car in the left lane, a couple of cars, you know, and maybe a car in the right, and the third lane from the inside there was a Crown Vic up there in the front, and it was kind of going slow, you know, and I'm thinking the song, you know, blue hairs driving in my lane. So I thought, well, I'm going to go around them. So I put my blinker on. I did signal. I put my blinker on. I went to right lane one lane, then right lane the next lane, and then canceled my signal and just cruised on around and turned my signal on and got back in the middle lane. So I wasn't in the far left lane. I was in the next to the far left lane. And, you know, I'd come around the Crown Vic that was puttering along in the inside lane. I thought it was just somebody going slow in the inside lane. I mean, if you drive as much as I do, you think that people who drive below the speed limit in the left lane should be taken out and shot. In Christian love, mind you, but taken out and shot nonetheless. Well, you know, I was cruising along there. I figured the speed limit 60, 70 miles an hour, so I was going 70 miles an hour, 73 miles an hour, something like that. Actually, I believe I was told a few moments later that it was 73 miles an hour. Well, I looked back, and that Crown Victoria had eased over behind me, and before long, the blue lights came on. Uh-oh, bubblegum machine done hit the jackpot. Well, I started easing over to the right, and my wife said, "What are you doing?" And I said, "I'm going to talk to that man behind me." And so we pulled over to the side, and I mean, I hadn't got the van stopped or the window down, and that man was standing by my door. And I rolled the window down, and he wanted to see my license, and he commenced reading me the riot act for going fast and cutting across the lanes of traffic, and he was fixing to give me a ticket for like reckless driving. And hey, he was totally justified. I mean, I did what he said, but I didn't know it was a construction zone, and I thought he was just going slow in the left lane, but I didn't say that. He jumped me up one side and down the other. And so I told him, I said, "Well, you know, I was just kind of going with the flow." Whoa, that set him off. He said, "I expect to hear that from a kid, but I wouldn't expect it from a grown man like you." And he told me that ticket was going to cost me $500 and reckless driving and all this stuff, you know, and I'm thinking in the back of my mind, well, I guess I'll be finding me another job. So he handed me, you know, he read me the riot act. He handed me my license and said, "Drive carefully." He turned around and got back in. Oh, and he said before he left, he said he had been to Alabama lately, and he knew that Alabama police had unmarked Crown Victorias, and while not smart enough to know that that was an unmarked police car, which it was, but I am not going to argue with him. And so, but he handed me my license. He said, "Slow down." And he turned around, walked back to his car, got in his car, and drove off. My wife and I sat there looking at each other. I looked at my mother-in-law. She had a smirk on her face. You know how they are. And, I mean, we couldn't believe what happened. I mean, he was going to give me a ticket, and then he just got in the car and drove off. Now, I'm thankful as all get out that he did that. And he slowed me down because I didn't know it was a construction zone, which he informed me that it was, and how fast over the speed limit that I was going. So, if anybody from Knoxville knows that fella, or if you happen to see this, I want to thank you for your mercy, because I didn't deserve it, but I'd just like to know, you know, why did he just hand me my ticket and leave? Was he in a hurry? It was around 5 o'clock. I don't know. And he seemed like a real nice guy. I mean, he was the most mad I've ever seen anybody without cussing. And, of course, I haven't lived this down since then. My mother-in-law, you know, if we go anywhere, she makes police car sounds in the back. When we got back, because we make a scrapbook of our trips and stuff, of course, my wife had to go get a little policeman and stick it in the scrapbook, and she says, I sure wish I'd have thought to take his picture. But anyway, I just wonder about the guy. I wonder, was he a Christian? Did he, I mean, I didn't say, you know, I'm a preacher and I should be, I didn't say nothing. I said, well, the only thing I said was, you know, I was just kind of going with the flow, and that wasn't the thing to say. And I didn't say, well, you know, you were going slow in the left lane. That would have really cost me money, but I didn't know it was the speed limit. But anyway, I just thought somebody from Knoxville might know this guy. He's a super nice guy. He's a really nice guy, a policeman in an unmarked car. But anyway, when you go through Knoxville, be careful, and if they stop you, be nice. God bless you, and goodbye.